Hey YouTubers, I just want to give a quick observation on a couple of multi-tools. I know there's a lot of videos out there, but these are the extreme in terms of price and I think quality. I bought this for $10. It's a Chicago Electric. It's a Harbor Freight kind of special. And it's the non-variable speed. It's basically you turn it on, it goes. And I think it's up to 19,000 oscillations per minute. And then I have the Fein 250Q, which is a quick release. And I'm waiting on this sand base pad to do my sanding, but for now I've been doing my sanding on doing a renovation on my house. And if you're looking for a tool that will do a quick small job, I don't think this is that bad. I know I've heard a lot of bad raps on Chicago Electric, and they don't last in that they're not meant to, I don't think. Certainly not for $10. But I think for a small job you can get it done. It's not going to burn out in one job like some of the videos I've seen on these. But it does have its drawbacks, and I'll go over those very quickly. On the other hand, if you go to the high end of the multi-tools, this is the multi-master, and it's pretty much what everybody else measures their tools by, and it's for good reason. It's a total quality tool and worth the money. And I mean, I bought this used for 80 bucks. And like I said, I paid 10 bucks for this, so I can get 8 of these for one of these, but I'd much rather work with one of these because of the issues that I'm going to go over right now, which are the drawbacks of this. Essentially, the boxy shape is the first issue. It's thicker in the hand than something like the Fein, and it just makes for a slightly less comfortable position when you're angling, doing things like sanding. The other is the sound. You definitely need to wear ear protection with something like this, because the difference of these two is pretty dramatic. I mean, you could tell this is, I don't know if you're even going to be able to hear because it's going to be drowned out, but pretty loud. You're going to need ear protection. Here's the Fein. And even turned up. Without ear protection, although I would recommend ear protection for either. But that's definitely an annoyance on this tool. The other is the short cord. This has a 16-foot cord. This has probably a 6-foot cord. And I have my tools plugged into one Y cord with 3 plugs. So a lot of times I have to drag this around with the other cords, and it makes it a little bit annoying, but that's not that bad. The other issue is with the detachment being an Allen key. That's a big issue with any oscillating tool that you buy. You don't want one of these, not when everybody is coming out with something like a toolless. Although this is toolless, it isn't that doesn't come without its faults. If this pin drops, you're out of luck, just as if you drop the Allen key. But for the most part, it's actually larger in your hand, so it's with gloves going to be less likely to fall, but it's still not something that's perfected. I think Bosch has the best detachment of a tool on their oscillating tool, because they basically have a lever that you lift up, and then the blade comes out, and there's nothing to pull out, there's nothing to remove. It's just a jaw that opens up and closes as you move the lever. They have the best tool remover or blade removable tool, if that's what it's called. But out of all of them, in my opinion, there are some that have a little lever here which you can remove the blade just by pressing it down and popping the blade out, popping it on. The problem with that is that unless that locks on somehow when the tool is is turned on, you cannot use it like this and aggressively, because if you start pressing down, you're going to release the blade, and I have not used those, so I'm hoping that there's some lockout measure that does that, so you can hold it up high and get a nice grip and get more control over the tool and the workpiece. But I don't know, but I just don't like that idea of anything here anyways. With this one, once it's locked in, it's locked in. It's no problem. With this, it locks in with the Allen key, but again, it's really a pain to change over anything. So that's a big downfall. But I just wanted to do a comparison, not a comparison, but just a review of the extremes of what's available out there with the oscillating tools. And I don't buy typically any tools new. I buy used for obvious reasons, just cost savings. And I think though, if you're going to, like I said, do a very small job, or you're going to use this so intermittently that it doesn't justify spending $100 or more, then these will do you fine. I think they're good for what they do. They just will not last over time. And if you don't need one to last, then why waste the money? Spend the money on something else. If you're doing day to day, or if you are going to do like a remodel of your house, something extensive, get a quality tool that will not only last but make the job more enjoyable, especially if you're the one doing it. Like me, I'm doing all the work myself, and I don't want to use cheap tools and fight it the whole way, because I'm just working against myself. And the price that I'm increasing my property by doing the work myself obviously is pretty extensive, and it doesn't make sense, or is not cost effective for me to go on the cheap with all the tools and then do the work and fight it only to save a few dollars that I'm ultimately going to realize in the increased value of my property at the end of the day when the job's done. So anyhow, this is just a quick comparison of the extremes of multi-tools. If you don't have one, get one if you ever are going to be doing any work, no matter which one you get, because I think they're invaluable of what kind of jobs they can do, whether it be little sanding. I'm doing 6-panel doors right now, and while I use a Makita palm sander for the big large pieces, those small panel pieces really need something like this to get in there and do a rough sand so that you can paint properly, and then the paint will stick. But there are just so many uses that a multi-tool can handle. Until you have one and use one, you really don't realize what you've been missing by trying other tools to accomplish those tasks. So just something to think about. Anyway, a couple of oscillating tools for comparison. Take care. Thanks for watching.